Integrate Applitools into your Google Cloud Build to perform visual validations across various devices and browsers, viewport sizes while you build your application. Test Applitools provides you the details of visual checks performed and the differences identified. SEM Applitools performs the baseline conflicts with your branches. To integrate Applitools into your Google Cloud CI, the first step is to create a build trigger by connecting your repository. Click on the connect repository and click on the GitHub and then continue, and then select your repository and then connect your repository. Upon connecting your repository, you'll be allowed to create a push trigger. For now, let's create a push trigger with default push to any branch. Let's go back to the trigger and edit the trigger. I have selected the cloud build YAML file to run my trigger. Once your trigger is created, you're all good to perform to run your build on Google Cloud CI. Once you're done connecting your repository, the step 2 is to integrate your repository with Applitools. Go to your Applitools dashboard, click on the admin section, and click on the team style and select your appropriate team, and then navigate to the integration section. Click on GitHub integration, add your GitHub URL, and then click on manage repositories, and then connect your repository with Applitools. After adding your repository in Applitools integration section, let's look at the code. What are the parameters to be set in the configuration? For this demo, I've chosen a tutorial Cypress project. Inside my Applitools config.js, I've passed my Applitools batch ID as batch ID and the branch name as baseline branch name. And then I passed all the browsers and the devices and viewports at various viewport sizes. This enables us to run the tests across various devices and viewport sizes while running parallelly your tests. So for this demo, I've created a cloud build YAML file where I've passed my commit SHA as my commit ID and git branch name as git branch name in the build arguments. So I've been using my Docker file to pull up the Cypress base and then perform the visual validations. If you see here, I have passed the commit ID as the Applitools batch ID and the git branch as Applitools branch into the environment variables. And I'm running, at the end of my test, I'm doing a post call for SEM Applitools. Let's commit a few changes onto my branch, and then we'll see a visual validations performed on Google CI using Applitools ultra-fast grid across various devices. Now I have pushed my changes, and let's go back and see these changes on Google Cloud CI running. Now you can see the trigger, default push trigger 1 is being created for my perform Applitools visual checks. If you go back to the Google Cloud build and click on the latest build, and my test has started pulling up the images and then running my Cypress end-to-end test performing the visual validations. Once my test completes, the build status will be reported back along with the Applitools visual checks. My test has completed, saying the build is successful and all the visual checks has been passed. SEM Applitools status is pending, showing us the baseline conflicts. Upon clicking here, we'll navigate to the Applitools directly to the Applitools branches to verify the conflict status. Now let's go back to the dashboard and see my build. You can see all the tests has been passed on various devices and browser combinations.